Alright, so this is the OUYA Unity Hangout for April 22nd, 2013. I was going to cover like a few different things. Cover the changes to the recent plugin. I was going to cover unit testing and then some free stuff. Play around with OUYA hacking. Oh my gosh, where's Kevin? Okay, well let's start with the new mesh performance scene. So this new use show mesh performance scene, and it was I'm trying to find the bottlenecks for mesh performance and fill rates and that kind of thing. And in this example, it generates lots of little cubes. I go back to a blank slate. Okay. Okay, so as the UI says, if I use D-pad right, it increases the fill rate by stacking a bunch of cubes in front of the camera that are pretty big in size. And I found like I only have to get around 1,000 before the frame rate drops to like 30 frames a second. And so there's D-pad right and left for removing geometry and adding it. And then if I hit up, it will combine the geometry meshes into a single mesh. And you can see that that doesn't impact it whatsoever. This is all just fill rate. So each time you hit right, it doubles the number of polygons. If I hit up, it'll combine those polygons into a single mesh and half them. So if I get it all the way down to 1, so even though I have one mesh and it's only got 1,500 polygons, I can make the rendering crawl because it's doing so much overdraw that they're just right in front of the camera, all stacked. So you look at that like, oh god, that's awful. But there are ways to get like the better performance, and that's just, just call it out of your scene, or I do the same kind of test with smaller polygons, and I've been able to get way up there. Like, I'll just actually, it's not even finished. All right, I've been able to get like 100,000 polygons, no problem. Spawn some more. So with this, it's basically a tool that you can generate a bunch of geometry and then measure performance. So these panels or graphs or whatever, it's the green line is 60 frames a second, and the red line is 30 frames a second, and then plus you can see what the counts are. You can see even though I've got 32,000 polys here, no problem on performance. And then I can do the same thing if I hit up. Haven't tested this yet, but it'll half the renderers, and you can see instantly, oh, I increased the frame rate. So up again. Have to improve the performance of combining this stuff. Basically, I'm getting it down to fewer draw calls by just batching it together into the same mesh. All right, so here we're doing 32,000 polygons, and still getting great performance because we're minimizing the number of draw calls. I was thinking about, I'm doing this and I'm like, oh, dude, I could turn this into an example game. And I have like a little cuber guy that jumps in between cube to cube, and then you'll be able to see like the number of polygons is not the bottleneck.
So is this like static batching or whatever? Or is this just something
It's just a straight mesh, just generating. I just took a cube prefab, and then I just keep instantiating that, and
Right.
then when I combine it, I just take the verts and the faces and triangles and put it into the same mesh. There's a 65,000 polygon limit per mesh, so
Okay.
at this
So
point
how does that, sorry, how does that work with textures then?
well, it's just a material. So in this example right now, it just uses the shared material on all of them. So
Right.
you do the same thing where you just share material. You can just optimize your material so that it works for multiple objects if you want to get high frame rates and high polygons.
Right, right.
In that river scene you've got, there's no way. I mean, does it have 30,000 polygons? I don't know. Probably.
I don't know. It's a good question.
And
I don't
I mean,
know.
I'm not even pushing it yet. I can. I'll just keep doubling it. As soon as it drops below the line, then I just combine it again.
Right.
Yeah. Clone them, clone them, clone them. I mean, look at all that stuff. It's like there's plenty of stuff going on and great performance.
Mm-hmm.
I have to add that angular thing so that it can wrap all the way around. You can see like it's bumping into the 360,
Yeah.
the gimbal locking.
Right.
Good old gimbal locking. Yeah, spawn some more. Keep going. So this is still, I think the draw calls are actually double what the renderers are. So this is 2,000 draw calls probably.
Right. Crazy.
And I'm getting 17 frames a second, so then I just have to combine them again and I can get it probably back up to 40 frames a second.
And just send you my game and you can optimize it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I aim to eventually have a tool that it's that easy. You just click a button and it goes through and it just optimizes it for you.
Right.
It'll just say, oh, dude, you're running 5 materials on this flower. Like, you can
Right.
optimize these 10 different flowers into the same atlas map in a single material, and you can get all your performance back.
Mm-hmm. Right. Good point.
Okay, so this was one of the new examples. The other example that I did was like a virtual controller graph thing. I don't know if I showed it at the last Hangout or not. Let's see. It's the show Unity input scene. This could be like a total, like a dynamic city sim, you know? I can totally see like jumping from cube to cube and or space asteroids or
Right.
this is plenty of density for stuff going on and I'm moving around, it's moving just fine.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
You could even use that, what we call it, the pool manager
Right.
to just I mean, all those could be just particles flying around that you're shooting at people. Okay, so did I show this before? This was the I graphed the inputs, and then up top, the red and the blue are red is the axes,
Right.
and the blue is the buttons, and you can test latency if there
Right.
is any.
Mm-hmm.
I did do several Unity bug reports if you've seen this using this tool, so it helps. It helps you when you plug in a new controller figure out what the mappings are. And I was thinking about doing another input mapping example where you can just like pick the mappings, kind of like the Duke Nukem style, or some of the other games or Half-Life 2, where you can pick like what axis to use in the UI.
Okay.
And then you could have a generic input interface that works for it. It doesn't matter what controller you use. The user just picks what they want.
Right. Yeah, I tried to get it working on Nexus 7, but that just made me get fed up, so I stopped.
You just need a hub, or just root your Nexus 7, and then do the wireless ADB thing.
Yeah. I don't think my wife would like me after that.
Oh, it still works fine. There's this guy, Craig Gomez. He makes a custom ROM.
All right.
Let's see what else. Oh, I made a change to the IIP stuff. Slight change. So in show products, at the very top I added a label. And it says it returns true or false when you call OUYA SDK is IIP init complete. Because some people were trying to request the receipts inside of their start method, but there has to be like a handshake between the plugin and your Unity application first
Mm-hmm.
before you start requesting products and receipts and doing purchases. So
Right.
now you can just check that to make sure it's ready
Mm.
without just doing a timer or something.
Right. Right.
So that's the only IIP change I made. I thought about maybe adding an event that you get, just like the other events, that says it's complete if you don't want to just call this to see if it's done. All right, time to read the chat. What do we got? You're saying I made the whole SDK for free. That's not true. They paid me to make it, so. It's a, it's a win-win. Plus, I needed it for some games anyways. That's the technical part of the show. I still want to show. I'll give you a crash course in unit testing. I was going to show you something I used a long time ago, which is NUnit. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Nope.
Oh, scary. I mean, plenty of people make games without doing any testing, so. Or at least testing at the code level. And I'll show you that. Oh, okay. One thing with this example is I added Mogo support. So you can just turn on your Mogo when you get it. You should have got an email from me yesterday with all the directions. Oh, there you go. See, I just turned it on. That comes right up in the controller. Oh, you guys can't see? Of course. All right, so there's the Moga Pro right there. And then just tap on your trackpad one time to switch to the next controller. And then I did all the mappings.
Cool.
Here's another bug report I have to do for Unity. So this week Unity's fixing bugs, so with the controller, so that's cool.
Nice.
I made like 5 bug reports and pro projects and stuff with videos, and so that should help. That's how you get stuff fixed. You just do a video. And if you're looking at video software, like the best one that I've used so far is Camtasia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on the subject of bug reports, I need to do one for this. So I switched controllers, and every once in a while it's showing like an axis is down even though it's not down. And that should, but if I restart, it's not down, so something's getting stuck in there. Yeah. Okay. So back to NUnit. I had done some kind of thing in Unity for NUnit way back when. I think I could even get it to attach. Okay, well, I'll get it working in a little bit. So there's InUnit, which is a free test tool. Yep, good old page. Do they have any screenshots? Well, it's time for some videos. Oh, they have InUnit for Silverlight. That's cool. Interesting. Well, what is this InUnit thing? Current stable release. So just download the sucker. Okay. Now, when I was testing with it way back when, you can run the installer, and then it just finds the DLL on your system, and I don't remember liking that very much. Like, I wanted to specify which InUnit version was being used per project. I just put in the DLLs in the project, so I just used the zip file. This is the start of something magical. I never thought I'd see another unit test again. Oh, hey, Steve. Is that Steve?
Yeah, that's me. How's it going, Tim? How you doing?
Doing good. Covered the new stuff already. I was getting into just kind of ad hoc in it. So I was gonna cover. I used to do a lot of unit testing, so I was just gonna go over, like, refresh my brain on what I used to do for unit tests, and maybe get that working in Unity
Okay.
so that you can run that. Because everybody should be doing unit testing anyway. I used to say, like, a unit test is just a test that a developer writes to test their own stuff.
Okay.
So there's functional tests and end-to-end tests and stability tests and sanity checks and validation and all kinds of stuff. But unit tests are good for why does IAP stuff break? Like, why is it broken right now? If you have a little test, you just run it and it validates that some test, and you can easily pinpoint where in your application it broke if you have good enough coverage.
Okay, cool.
Now, it's been like 3 years since I looked at this, but it shouldn't have changed much. So within InUnit, you get this InUnit GUI. Guess that's it. InUnit. Ah, yes. I haven't seen this in a long time, old friend. So basically, you just open up a project, which can be an exe or your DLL. Something that had used the framework. I'm going to see if I can just test itself or something. Oh, test probably, huh? A mock assembly? That sounds about right. There we go. Alright, this is InUnit. So basically there's a bunch of attributes you can add to a class. and then that automatically shows up as test cases. So you can open up your Unity game or whatever in here, and any unit test that you added to your game, you can just double-click it and run it. Even while the game's running, I'll make something like this and put it into that Remote Explorer, so you can just attach to your game while it's running, and you can see like, oh, do the jump test. You just double-click it, and green if it passed, red if it failed, and it does nice reports that output to XML that have nice like style templates to give you and it can email when you're done with the tests or whatever, and it'll just run through your suite of tests. So you can just run them all, like test, run all. Okay, so it's a really fast way to see like what broke in your code. Like each time there's a new ODK release, well, you run all these and you see, oh, we just broke XYZ. Oh, look, the overlay doesn't work anymore, and it helps you isolate. Usually you run this before you ship something. And then or if you ship, you say, okay, we shipped it, but these tests failed, so watch out for that.
So this works with iOS and Android?
I can make it work with those.
I see.
Yeah, I'll make it connect to Unity and everything too.
Okay.
Like while it's running on iPad, iOS, all the different flavors.
Cool.
It's pretty lightweight. It's just custom attributes that make it register, and then we can just connect to those. The same way I'm already connecting with my remote profiler. All right, so how do you write a unit test? Well, I used to do mine as console apps because I did a lot of SOAP testing for search engines. So I did work for Google, Yahoo, and Ask Jeeves, and Dogpile, and GoToNet, and on Metacrawler. Alta Vista, remember all those cool ones way back when. And so you can have code tests that just call functions in your code. It can also run like user interface tests, graphical stuff, like go to this web page, click on this, do that kind of thing. For those kind of tests, though, I tended to use like Selenium, which is another free tool, and it had a plugin for the browser that you could just record some actions and then play it back. So you could see if your website broke or whatever, and they just keep running. And then we used to hook this in-unit stuff into your build process. So if you use like Cruise Control or one of those type things, like 15 minutes after a build happens, it can just automatically kick off the unit tests, and they go and they run. Or usually it's like 15 minutes since of inactivity. So there'll be a check-in, and if people are still checking in, it just keeps resetting the counter. And then if any test fails, it just sends a big red sheet to like your development team, and it says, Johnny broke the build. He owes us lunch today. Yeah. All right. So how do you write a test? Well, it used to be you just open up a console app, so I'll just launch Visual Studio here. Okay. Just do a new console application. Come on, Visual Studio, I'm trying to make a folder here. There we go. Oh, it was doing it. Okay. here we go. Project, it'll just be a console app. Okay, runs no problem. Okay, so that's the first step. Second step is to just link it to the framework DLL for NUnit. So I've got this guy. And then you used to just say, okay, add reference. And you just browse to it, or you copy it into your project or whatever. I think at some point the NUnit guy actually went to work on the Visual Studio team, and then they added NUnit to Visual Studio, but they called it something else, and it's like $7,000 or whatever for the team edition. But if you have that, then you can run or use this free NUnit. Okay, so that's the first step. That's all I needed with that. Documentation. Okay, 261. Oh, wait. Okay, getting started. Quick start. Okay, so you typically have a class already that does something. And then here you go. So you just take the using statement for the NUnit framework. I always put them in ABC order because I'm all like OCD about that, I guess. Okay. Okay, so here's the most important thing. You just put test fixture above the class. And it probably has to be public so that it can be accessed from the outside. And then you just start adding tests. So you'll have like a test super jump. Okay, so you have your method name, and then you just add a test attribute. And that's all you have to do to make a test. So you just say, okay, and then in my unit test, I do like and I just do some math function, and then you just write an assert statement. So assert, are they equal, is I equal to 2. And I think it had like, you could make it descriptive if you wanted. Oh, I see. I, comma 2. Expected. Okay, so you put expected and then actual. So I expect it to be 2. It's actually whatever I is. Okay? So that is a basic unit test. And now we just, when we compiled it, made our exe. And like I said, you can unit test an exe or a DLL. And I'll add these same attributes and make them work in Unity, which I've done before. It's on the forum someplace. Okay, then we go over to the GUI, and we just open a project, which is the DLL or exe, and we just navigate to the console app we just built. All right, there we go. Okay, and now we see our test super jump. And you just double click it to run it, and it failed because, why did it fail? Method is not public. Okay. I was like, I think it's 2. I don't know. Public. There you go. And it automatically reloads when you switch back. And there you go. Your test passed.
Cool.
So if for some reason it was supposed to be something else, oh, it failed because it has your expected, but it was something else. And then there's a bunch of other attributes you can do. Like if there's an an init and a tear down and that kind of thing, because sometimes the test depends on other things being set up. Like you have to have it make some game objects, and you have to have it initialized to a certain position. You need the animation to start and run for like 4 seconds, and then run the test. And then when that's done, you want it to clean it all up because you don't end up with a bunch of test artifacts in your scene. And then these assert statements, there's a bunch of them. So equal, not equal, not the same. Is null, is not null. I used to do this a lot around like database stuff. So you do some kind of database transaction, do a select statement, and then validate that you got the expected result. Just reading the comments here. Okay, so to make this work for your app, I'm pretty sure you would just open up your standalone DLL, and then if it detected it, I saw something in the forums for making that work. I might even write like a proxy DLL, so you just inspect that, and then you might get a pop-up in the middle of the test that says connect to your app on the iPad or something, and then it would just start running tests. It's open source too, so I could just hack my own NUnit, call it the Unity NUnit. It's totally original name. Or NUnit with Unity spelled backwards. Nah. Whatever. So you start to look at these examples, and it's pretty straightforward. So you just have a using statement, the test fixture, setup. Okay, I guess that was the init. Get some stuff ready, and it runs the test. There's attributes for like init this one time for all the tests, and then there's another attribute that's like init this for each test. So like sometimes like a bunch of tests would share the same database connection, where other cases you want it to like between each test truncate the database before you start, that kind of thing, or truncate a table. What else? Okay, that's a quick start. Writing text test. And it's based on attributes, and there's a lot of attributes now. And you know what, I'll post a link to the docs here. But these are all the different functions you can call, or attributes you can use, and things you can do. Requires multi-threading, static threading. Test suites. Okay. So you can make a suite of tests. And then they just group together, probably in the UI. So you can have like all of them at the same level, or you can control like how your hierarchy is or organized for your tests. And extensibility, that's the part that I'll use, which is extending it to work in Unity. You can even extend the GUI. Cool. Just with plugins. Test decorators. Gotcha. This is like taking the attribute and making it do something totally different. That's cool. Wait, you might have like a test that fails, and you know like a bunch of other tests are going to fail, so you could do such things as like, if this test fails, just skip running other things. By the time you get to that, you'll really know unit testing. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so do we have any APKs to test? Nobody has an APK to play. Come on. I've been playing some fun stuff. Let's see. The kids are addicted to the one that says Saturday morning RPG. That was insane. That's the one. Saturday morning RPG. I got so enveloped or immersed into this game that like I turned off my console, or I turned off the controller, or I exited the game because I was trying to tap so hard. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get past this boss battle. Is it on live? Yeah, okay. So I've got like, okay, go to your notebook. And I've got like the sword, the Optimus Prime, the compass, the Care Bear, and the cookie. But those are terrible. Let's see. Optimus Prime sucks. You want the CD? That's the stronger one. And then I'll go in the battle with like 2 Care Bears and a cookie. That's really all I need. All anybody really needs.
So this one's pretty popular, this Saturday morning RPG.
It's popular with my kids.
Oh.
Okay, into the boss battle. Here we go. This is the final battle. You know those games where like the boss, you've got him down to a sliver, and he heals himself. It's like, no! Or he
Yeah.
spawns more bad guys. That's totally like this one. Here we go. Time for battle. Oh, scratch time. So you have to like scratch with your move your trackpad really fast. It's the trackpad is like part of the game
Oh, I
on
see.
most screens.
Cool.
All right. So before I attack, the first thing I want to do is click on this red thing, and I don't want to do gauge based. I want to do rapid tap based. Okay. I'm gonna click it one time, and then I have to tap like crazy. Tap 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 tap. Okay. So I got a 3 times multiplier. And then this is where you use the different items. So if I use the CD guy, it'll have like a... see, I missed. You've got like a perfect thing. Okay, and then when I do these tap things, it uses my MP bar. Tap, 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 tap. Alright, 2.8 multiplier. And then he just healed himself and he got like super armor on. So then I want to do the Care Bear stare. Got him, okay. Now he's gonna try and spawn some more guys. I'm gonna need the tap power. Okay. Then hit him with the CD again. Okay, that's okay. I don't need to eat my cookie yet. Tap tap tap. Oh, see, you spawned some bad guys.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm out of MP, so I just have to do regular attacks. He put on his super armor again. So when you push, you kind of have to push the action button at the right time to block attacks. Oh, okay, so I got some MP back. Then you do this tapping thing. Okay, 2 times multiplier. Do another Care Bear stare. Okay, I'm gonna need a cookie. So he eats this giant cookie, and I get 26 health back. Cover your mouth. There you go. Oh, it's another tap one. I tapped the wrong button, and I missed. Oh, that's awful. Okay, sword again. I forgot that it was a tap. Okay, tap, 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 tap. Okay, time to eat another cookie. Last cookie. Okay, I'm gonna run out of offensive things. Oh, tapping. Okay, one more Care Bear stare should do it. Oh, and it missed. How does a Care Bear stare miss? It's like, it's pure light. I just got a super armor on again. Another Care Bear stare miss. I'm not gonna make it. He's got his armor on again. Oh, I got him down to a sliver. Now I'm down to physical attacks. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh no.
And so that's Saturday morning RPG. And then you can go back to the checkpoint or whatever, but I can't get past that boss battle.
Mm.
But it's not I haven't bought the full game. Oh, there's another one that we were playing. It's that I can get into there. It's this Nightmare Tower. Have you tried that one?
I haven't tried that one, no. Nightmare Tower, huh?
Okay, so you have your go bar, and you have to stay in the air.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I got hurt. Alright. So you build up speed the more guys that you get.
Oh, I see.
Ah, I missed. I don't understand the part where I can miss and it still is okay. But I seem to go right into that one. Oh, he stabbed me. Oh, I think I made it. I got a princess.
Nice.
You saved a princess.
Nice.
Now I've got two princesses. All right. Okay, I think I executed that wrongly. I had a bomb that showed up and I didn't use it at the right time. So I think what happens is if you go to attack and you miss them, you lose some speed. If you lose all your speed, then you just start to fall. Ah. Need some health about now. Just what I needed. So then if you lose too much velocity, then the lava gets you, I guess.
Oh, I see. Looks like a pretty cool game.
It's pretty addicting.
Yeah.
Ah. Using too much speed. So it's dashing a lunch when you go to attack somebody and you miss. Alright. Oh well, I'm sticking with my title of two princesses. Alright, well that was what I was gonna cover. Sent an email where you guys could get a Moga controller for free.
Yeah, I received that.
Yeah.
So what does it look like? Is it a so wait, I just skimmed through the email really quickly. It's basically like you control okay, that's what I was wondering what it looked like. Yeah.
All right, so it's like a regular controller, but it has this thing that pops up,
Oh,
and then so if you have an Android phone or iPhone or whatever, at least Android, so I've got like a thing around it,
yeah.
but it still fits in this thing. So it's got like a thing that pops up, and then your phone will fit right in there,
Oh, cool.
and it connects to your phone with Bluetooth. So then it turns it into like a
Nice. It makes me think of that thing that NVIDIA's releasing. That same form factor. You know, the NVIDIA. What is it called? It's the same form factor, basically, almost the same style, almost. That's cool, though. How are you hearing of all these new gadgets that are coming out anyway? Are you on some sort of a mailing list or something? Because I notice you're hearing a lot about these new things that are coming out.
right. Well, yeah, Marco from Gravy just ran into the guy at the GDC conference.
Oh, I see. Cool. Cool.
So there's actually two of them that you get. There's this one, and then there's the this thing. The Pro only came out like I think on Thursday or something. So then there's the light version, which is kind of
a smaller version.
smaller.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. This is like the $69 one or something.
Cool.
So again, your phone slips into there. And then you can play Final Fantasy or whatever.
Wow, that's awesome.
But the thing is, it'd be really easy to like turn this into, with TNet or any of the peer-to-peer networking protocols. You can connect this now to the OUYA and play some games, kind of the same experience you get with a Wii remote.
Yeah, cool. That's cool.
You could even do like augmented reality, so you're using the controller connected to the OUYA, playing some game, but then you're using your camera on your phone to like shoot things in the air or whatever while you're playing, so you could have like ships that fly off the screen off your TV and shoot them. There's all kinds of things you could do with augmented reality. Cool. And then also you have access to your phone's accelerometer, so you could like use that in whatever your game is.
Cool.
So It's not officially supported by OUYA yet. It was just something that we just tried and it just works. So
Cool.
Got the Moga Pro to connect to the OUYA, no problem. If there's a little switch in here, A and B mode, and B mode is the head mode, which is supported by most consoles and stuff. A mode is the SDK mode, and you have to use the SDK to work. And the SDK would require like something to happen on the OUYA to support it. So that's why it's not officially supported. But
Cool.
I was able to get the B mode to connect, and I included the mappings in the Unity input example. So it'll just work for you for when you get it. You can play around with it and do whatever. So, and it's a good feeling, sturdy controller.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
So the Moga Pro has a rechargeable battery, so you just charge it through micro USB.
Oh, cool.
Where the light guy has some battery compartments on the back. Takes 2 AAA batteries.
Oh, cool.
And it turns your phone into a big controller. Oh, triggers on the back too.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see. Yeah, Pro has the bumpers and the triggers, and just the triggers.
Cool.
And it has a whole marketplace for games that already support it.
Nice. Is there a pretty big list of games, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I only looked at like the first page of them, so.
No, I see. Cool.
And I want to get working on my game, so.
Sorry. No problem. Do you want to play an Xbox, or you just said something earlier?
How did you want the box?
You can have it over there if you want.
All right, well, that's an hour mark. I'm going to stop the capture here.
Cool. Okay.
And, yeah, so if you rewatch this, you'll see, like, the stuff we covered at the beginning, which was...
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of went over the new input examples, some IP changes, just a tiny thing, and some new graphing stuff. So
cool. Yeah, we're looking at finally finishing up our IAPs by the end of the week. I think there's a lot of distractions this last week, so we definitely need to update our doomsday